Hello, and happy fucking Wednesday, you guys. Good morning. I hope everybody's waking up in a chipper mood. And welcome to People Talk Now. I'm your host, Vanessa Herrera, and as always, you guys already know, this is a show where you ask about it and I talk about it. And hell yeah, welcome to episode 24. Okay? Yeah. So I don't know what you guys are getting into this morning, but I know what I'm getting into, and we're going to talk about our health. We're going to talk about why going vegan is actually why it would benefit anybody really, but why it benefits you. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about the documentary that I watched this past weekend. It's called Food Matters. And, then we'll go over our joke of the day and our word of the day. So, yes, you guys, I hope you're all starting your Wednesday morning off good. I hope your vibes are right. I hope that you have all your goals and everything in mind and you're fired and filled up. Because goddamn, I got you. Okay, so we're going to get right to it. Get right to it. Like I said, I don't know where you're headed this morning, but I sure hope that whatever you're doing, that you're starting off your morning on a positive note. You're not letting nothing piss you off, because that's not how we do things around here. We got to handle it with love and light. Okay. So let's get right to it. Now, I know it has been said that vegan diets they're basically known to help people lose weight. However, though, they also offer a lot of other health benefits. Now, for starters, a vegan diet can definitely help you maintain a healthy heart. And what's even more helpful to know is that diet can also offer you some protection against type 2 diabetes and certain cancers. So I'm going to share with you an array of benefits that will help you kind of think about it in a much lighter way, because I know it's kind of been, thrown around out there. There's a lot of people in the vegan community. The vegan community is growing and it's thriving. But me, as a person who also eats plant-based and also does activism for animals, I know that, there is some vegans out there that have basically given a bad name or a bad light as to what, first of all, I hate, unfortunately, to even bring up the word vegan. But, I wish there was another way that I can say it without it annoying people. But unfortunately, this is one of the only ways aside of saying plant-based that I can kind of explain it to people so they can understand. It's okay, because vegan is not the same as vegetarian. If you're new to my show, and you're not vegan, I hope that I can explain this to you in a way where you leave the end of my show and you don't feel judged. You don't feel anything. If anything, you just felt like we had a really good conversation. I gave you some things to think about, and that's that. But you don't leave with any anger or any resentment or anything like that. Because ultimately, that's not what I want to cause as a vegan, as a plant-based person, whatever you want to call it, as a person who just loves animals and cares about people's well-being. I say that I want to be able to help you understand why I personally feel, why anybody should want to choose a plant-based diet, vegan diet, first and foremost because of their health and the benefits that it can have on your body. And and it's one of those things where if my husband said something to me, I believe last week, and it was just like the most enlightening thing, and like he triggered like all of these senses in my brain, and it kind of went like this. It's like we have to save the people to save the animals, and never had any words hit me and impacted me so hard the way they did that day, because it's true, right? And like he understood because of the way that I've explained to him of the way of that I've been feeling. And so before I get into the benefits or reasons why you should consider going vegan, before I explain all the benefits and whatnot and the things that I've learned this past weekend watching Food Matters, which, by the way, got taken down from Netflix. I couldn't even find it on YouTube. And 2 weeks prior to that, I was like halfway through watching it on YouTube, and then they got taken off of there. So it was one of those things where it's been made very difficult for me to even watch it. So, you know, I'm not gonna say how I got it, but managed to watch it this past weekend, and it was one of those things where, I'll explain more as to what it made me think about, what I've learned, and why I feel like you should watch it as well if you get the opportunity. But before I get into all of that, I just want to explain really quick that, so, I was talking to my husband last week, and I was just telling him how I've been feeling about veganism, how I've been feeling about animals, and it's just such a difficult thing as far as like, trying to wrap all my feelings, what I feel, about everything, as far as like doing whatever I can to make people more aware of what's going on in the background, as far as like, the animal agriculture, what is being put into these foods, what's going on in the backgrounds, and like sharing in whatever way I can, whether it's through me talking to you guys week in and week out through my podcast, whether it's me spreading awareness through my social media, whatever way I can, whether it's through word of mouth, through, just communicating with people at the gym, wherever I can, really, wherever the conversation strikes, wherever the mood is right. And it's just been this balance, right? I'm like, where do you draw the line? And I realize that as a person who wants to fight for animal rights, I also don't want to basically, be out there yelling at people or like bashing people or telling them what they're doing wrong, or, I don't want people to feel like, damn, like, what did I do? Like, because at the end of the day, it's like, just because I choose not to consume animal products doesn't make me or any other vegan out there better than anybody for that matter. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing that, it's like morally and ethically, it just makes you more aware and conscious of things. But, that's for you to basically like talk to someone who hasn't been exposed to the amount of information that you have, or we have to also understand that basically people are addicted. It's salts and sugars and processed foods is a very addicting thing. And I basically, the way I like to kind of help people is to kind of make them understand how just eating right and feeling better is going to change their mind. It's going to change your gut lining. It's going to change. It's going to change the way you feel, the way you see life, and eventually, in my heart, I feel like that's going to lead to you being like, wait a minute, like, I don't want to hurt any living beings, you know what I mean? And it's not going to be one of those things where, someone is just like, look at this, like, look at this dead corpse, like and so, yeah, basically all of this mumbo jumbo that I was just explaining right now, if it makes any sense, was that I just don't want to be someone that is judging someone for their food choices, but I also would like to make people aware through just nutrition and through just common knowledge of what happens to our body and our gut and our brain under so much like duress and stress over time of the processed foods that are being sold out there in these stores. You know what I mean? And so that's basically all. Like, so when my husband said those words, it's like, you got to save the people. We have to save the people in order to save the animals. Like, I was just like, oh, like that hit my heart. It was just like someone just came and just hit it so deep, and I felt it. And so, yes. So now that I kind of got that quick little story as to how I feel about it, I just want to do things through the power of just simple nutrition and through and helping people basically understand that, you don't need, like, you really don't need to go out there and like buy any chicken or beef or get eggs, like, none of that stuff. Like, in reality now, now that I know all of these years that I've been eating plant-based, like, you just don't need it. Like, I feel so good. I feel so like my mind and everything is just getting better and better every single day, and I just want people to feel the way I feel. Like, I want people to see through my eyes what I'm seeing, you know what I mean? And like, just share that love and knowledge with people, because ultimately, like, I feel like once everybody's on the same page, that's what's going to help our world just turn around for the better, So, now that I've shared all that emotional story with you guys, now we can get into reasons as to ways that having a vegan diet can help you. Basically, it can benefit your health. So, first of all, if you switch to a vegan diet from the typical Western diet, meaning that you'll have to eliminate meats and animal products. So when I say eliminate meats and animal products, that means anything that has derived from an animal, which means like red meats, chicken, eggs, cow's milk, anything, like, really, even certain gummy bears have gelatin, which is from boiled animal bones. You name it. I recently found out that Skittles are made from like the coloring of a crushed beetles of some kind, and that just was like, ugh, made me want to barf, but it's helpful information. We just really have to be aware and be mindful of like the things that we're putting in our body, the things that we have to care for our family, the things that people, the people around you are consuming, you have to be mindful of that. So when you eliminate the meat and the animal products, inevitably this kind of leads you to rely basically more heavily on other foods. So in the case of whole foods, vegan diet, replacements like take form of whole grains, fruits, vegetables, beans, peas, nuts, and seeds, you name it. And since these foods basically make up a larger proportion of a vegan diet than the typical Western diet, they can take, they basically will contribute to a higher daily intake of certain beneficial nutrients. So, for instance, Several studies have reported that vegan diets tend to provide more fiber, antioxidants, and beneficial plant compounds. And they also appear to be richer in potassium, magnesium, folate, vitamin A, C, and E, you name it. So, and again, I know, like, I've heard people say, like, oh, like, yeah, I went vegan for a little while and then it didn't work out. And, oh, I felt so weak. And, oh, my God, like, yes. Okay, first of all, it's not all vegan diets are created equal. You have to understand, for instance, poorly planned vegan diets may provide insufficient amounts of essential fatty acids, vitamins B12, iron, calcium, iron, blah, blah, blah. But that's why it's important to stay away from nutrient-poor, fast food, vegan options. Instead, base your diet around nutrient-rich, whole plant-based, and fortified foods. So, again, you may want to consider supplements like B12, which, I take vitamins, and the vitamins, though, that I take basically contain a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? But it's always just helpful for you to try to get B12 in whatever way you can. One of the ways that I try to get B12 is to get it through nutritional yeast. Another way that being vegan will actually benefit you is it helps you lose an excess amount of weight. So for some people, this is probably a good reason. And several studies that have been done, but these have been random controlled studies, report that vegan diets are more effective for weight loss than the diets they're compared to. So in one study particular, so that I can help you guys get a good idea, a vegan diet helped participants lose 9.3 pounds, more than a controlled diet over an 18-week study period. So interestingly, though, the participants on the vegan diet lost more weight than those who followed calorie-restricted diets, even when the vegan groups were allowed to eat until they felt full. So you gotta think about that for a second. Like, we're talking about two diets where someone was actually watching the calories, they were restricting themselves, and then someone in a vegan group, they were just allowed to eat until they felt full, and they still lost weight. So, yeah, you got to think about that. Another reason is that it definitely helps lower your blood sugar levels and improve your kidney function. So one of the things that I read about a lot, or I heard a lot when I was considering basically going vegan, or I was in the ropes, was that going vegan may also have benefits for type 2 diabetes and declining kidney function. So vegans tend to have lower blood sugar levels and higher insulin sensitivity, and up to a 50 to 78% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And to me, that's a big lower risk. That's high percentages. So studies even reported that these vegan diets are lower in blood sugar levels in diabetics more than the diets from the American Diabetes Association. So in one study, 43% of participants following a vegan diet were able to reduce their dosage of blood sugar lowering medication, compared to only 26% in the group that followed an ADA recommended diet. And other studies reported that diabetics who substitute meat for plant protein may reduce their risk of poor kidney function. So these are all studies that have been done and had been proven very effective. So those are things to consider. So another thing is that a vegan diet may also protect you against certain types of cancers. According to a World Health Organization, about 1/3 of all cancers can be prevented by factors within your control, including diet. So, for instance, eating legumes regularly may reduce your risk of colorectal cancer by about 9 to 18%. So, vegans generally eat considerably more legumes, fruits, and vegetables than non-vegans. This may explain why a recent review of 96 studies found that vegans may benefit from a 15% lower risk of developing or dying from cancer. What's more, vegan diets generally contain more soy products, which may offer some protection against breast cancer. Avoiding certain animal products may also help reduce the risk of prostate, breast, and colon cancers. So that may be because the vegan diets are devoid of smoked or processed meats and meats cooked at high temperatures, which are thought to promote certain types of cancers. Vegans also avoid dairy products, which in some studies show may slightly increase the risk of prostate cancer. So, on the other hand, though, there is also evidence that dairy may help reduce the risk of other cancers, such as colorectal cancer. Therefore, it's likely that avoiding dairy is not the factor that lowers vegans' overall risk of cancer. It is important to note that these studies are observational in nature. They make it impossible to pinpoint the exact reason why vegans have a lower risk of cancer. However, until researchers know more, it seems wise to focus on increasing the amount of fresh fruits, vegetables, and legumes you eat each day while limiting your consumption of processed, smoked, and overcooked foods. Okay, another reason is definitely that it's linked to a lower risk of heart disease. Eating fresh fruits, vegetables, legumes, and fiber is linked to a lower risk of heart disease. All these are generally eaten in large amounts in well-planned vegan diets. So, vegans may also have up to 42% lower risk of dying from heart disease. So, what's more, several randomized controlled studies reported that vegan diets are much more effective at reducing blood sugar, which is LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol levels than the diets they are compared. So, compared to the general population, vegans also tend to consume more whole grains and nuts, both of which are good for your heart. Another reason is that a vegan diet can reduce pain from arthritis. A few studies have reported that a vegan diet has a positive effects in people with different types of arthritis. So, one study randomly assigned 40 arthritis participants to either continue eating their omnivore diet or switch to a whole food, plant-based vegan diet for 6 weeks. Those on the vegan diet reported higher energy levels and a better general functioning than those who didn't change their diet. 2 other studies investigated the effects of probiotic-rich raw food vegan diet on symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. Both reported that participants in the vegan group experienced a greater improvement in symptoms such as pain, joint swelling, and morning stiffness than those who continued their omnivore diet. So, the science is all there, y'all. The science. How can we argue against science? Again, you guys, there's just so much that goes into it. Even, I could go on and 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 on. But these are just things to think about, especially when it comes to our health, I remember, a side of me opening my eyes one day and saying, like, I love animals and I don't want to eat them anymore. I just realized it's kind of like a switch turned on, and I said to myself, I really don't need to eat this to live. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just, they have a heart, and like something in me, like it's like my subconscious woke up or something, like really, really woke up, and it was like, hey, come on now. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, and this hurts, It was like this emotion came over me, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to eat animals. And I went through several years of like, kind of like educating myself more and more and more, because that's usually what happens. Like when you start realizing that there is more to the food that you're eating, that you are what you eat, then you want to educate yourself more, and you just want to do more for yourself. So, I noticed one of the things that happened upon me, basically starting the plant-based diet, was that my mood even became better. Like, it improved. My mood improved drastically. And it's been improving ever since. Also, I mean, it's also been proven that vegan diets also have more complex carbohydrates present, which ultimately increase the feel of the good hormone serotonin in the brain. And who doesn't want to feel good? Because I know I'm trying to feel good 24/7. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, or maybe I don't know what you're thinking. You're like, how, Vanessa, how would I even go about like taking the steps to even trying a vegan lifestyle? Because that's what it is. It's a lifestyle. It's not a fucking diet. Because once you start, you just dive in and you do it because, you know, you want to feel good. Because chances are, like, let's be real, man, like eating processed foods and the food that is out there and fast foods and everything, like it's just fucking up our gut lining, you know? I hear people that are younger than me and they're just like, Vanessa, I'm not even going to the bathroom right. You know, that's right. I said it. We're talking about this. We're talking about the bowel movements. There's people that are literally not even like, they're not even going to the bathroom right, you know, for such a young age. And I just want to have you guys know that I'm pretty regular, you know, not ashamed to say it. I go to the bathroom quite often. And that's the secret right there to success. You go to the bathroom often, get rid of all the waste that's in your stomach. Guess what? Got a flat tummy. Eat your fruits and vegetables, you guys. Your nuts, your seeds, your grains, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to give you guys some quick pointers of how you can take some easy steps to just put you on your way to a good journey, you know, to the beginning of your life, of your new life, of your vegan life, of your not eating animals life, of your just feeling good in your brain life and feeling good in your stomach life. So an easy way you can start, if you feel like you just can't, you just can't commit to it right away. I'm not judging you. You know, my podcast is not about that. There's no angry veganism going on here. This is just nothing but love and positivity. And I want you to be able to come to me and feel comfortable about talking to me about whatever you need, whatever's going to help you feel better and just live a healthier life. I want you to be able to know and feel that this is a safe zone and that no question is a stupid question and you can ask anything. So one of the things that I would suggest is you go meat free on a specific day. Whatever day, you pick the day, whether it be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't fucking matter. Just pick a day. Pick whatever day. But just ditching meat for one day, meat or dairy, or both, for one day, can make that transition seem a little less intimidating. And it kind of allows you to try new foods too and reduce your impact on the planet at the same token. So say I'm not going to have meat on Wednesday mornings when I listen to Vanessa's podcast. Hello, I'm happy about it. So yeah, that'll be cool because it'll be easier to add more days each week. The more you're like, hey, you know what? Damn, it's not hard. I do it every Wednesday. Imagine you did it every Wednesday. And there's 4 Wednesdays in a month. You're already doing it 4 days in a month. Like, that's awesome. Next thing you know, you're going to want to add more days because you're going to be like, man, once you try it for that one day and every week, your body and your brain, especially your stomach, because your stomach has a brain, your stomach's going to start saying, hey, like, wait a minute. I noticed that on Wednesdays, I fucking feel fantastic. You know what I mean? And that's going to be your little jump starter. Another thing that I would highly suggest, which is something that I do often, constantly, is I watch documentaries. So, the media that we consume has a large impact on the choices we make. So documentaries are some of the most popular mechanisms for motivating people to go vegan. I know I've watched some documentaries that kind of help me just push me over the edge and make decisions as well. So it's always important me as a person who's trying to help people out there and help people see that this is a beneficial choice for your health, is to watch. Just pick a documentary, whether it be Dominion, whether it be What the Health, Food Choices, Earthlings, Cowspiracy, whatever it is. Just go look them up and pick one, watch one, whichever one, and just take notes and really, pause it, take a break, get some tea, whatever. Just enjoy the moment and just you'll get to see in the footage that's shown in some of these documentaries the dark side of animal agriculture. For me personally, Kip Anderson's What the Health is or Cowspiracy. Those two right there are kind of like they unravel the environmental issues tied to animal agriculture. So those are two really good ones to go check out, because personally, those two really affected me when I saw those two. But in my opinion, there is a focused documentary to suit anyone. You just gotta, you can email me at peopletalknow@hotmail.com and ask me about it for the questions, and I can definitely, send you links to whatever, all the documentaries that I know, and then you could choose one to watch. Another thing that you can do to kind of help you, those steps to kind of guide you to a vegan lifestyle is to read up. Get a book, there's some really good books out there. There's a book called How Not to Die by Michael Greger. It's like talks about how food is medicine. And that's a really good book. It's talks about how diet can cause or prevent disease. So there's another book called The China Study by T. Colin Campbell and Thomas M. Campbell, and it highlights the benefits of a healthy plant-based eating. Another really good book is by Jonathan Safran Foers. It's called Eating Animals, and that basically looks at what it means to eat animals in a modern industrialized world. And I could go on and on and on. There's so many good books, but just look up. You can type. We have the power of the internet at our fingertips, and we can basically look up anything we want. So just definitely read up. Another thing is fall in love with food. There's absolutely no reason why anybody should go hungry on a plant-based diet. So it's like for every food you loved as a non-vegan, you can make or buy an animal-free version. And there's cookbooks. There's just there's apps that shows you how to just create anything from what you have in your house. There's one that I really like. It's called Food Monster. And there's another one called Yumly. And these are all super, super easy apps that you can just download and just you can type in whatever ingredients you have, and it helps you come up with really creative ideas as well if you feel like you're stuck. And just connect with people in your community, it's okay to ask questions. So we have the power of social media. We have so many people that are choosing this plant-based lifestyle or choosing a more compassionate alternative. So it's just kind of surround yourself with supportive and like-minded people in a great way. It is a great way to keep you motivated during your vegan journey. Or just jump online, join some local vegan Facebook groups, which are always perfect too to find new recipes or tips on things that you can do. You know what I mean? You can subscribe to a publication that talks about vegan news. Again, but these are things that you can do to kind of help you jumpstart that. You know what I mean? And just always ultimately just think about your health, first and foremost. You have to be able to save your health, save yourself before you can even begin to save an animal. And I think that's a lot, in my opinion, That's kind of what I want to do. I want to be able to help people so that I can help animals. I can't go tell people to like stop eating animals when the people themselves need help, first. So ultimately that's kind of what I want to bring to the table. I want to talk about a documentary that I watched this past weekend. And that documentary is called Food Matters. And I kind of want to talk about, I'm going to give my review. First of all, I'm inspired and I'm motivated. And I'm feeling high. Like after watching this documentary, I felt high. And my husband watched it with me this past weekend and he was just, I don't know, we were both in awe. But it's that good. And it kind of ingrained like a different perspective into my subconsciousness. And I feel myself internalizing the details more and more. But when I walked away, like what I walk away feeling from this is strong. I felt smart. I felt empowered about my lifestyle decisions. And I feel a little frustrated sometimes because not enough people know this information. But see, that's where you come in. Because if you haven't seen Food Matters yet, get to it. You can rent it. You can rent it, apparently I found out, or you can purchase it. And once it gets into your hot little hands, you can watch it multiple times, But be sure that you share it with people, friends, family, whatever. So, heart disease and cancer are the two top killers in the United States annually. That's what I learned in Food Matters. Now, I get how that might not be breaking news to some people, but whenever I hear it, I'm like, holy shit. And an additional 39,000 people die due to unnecessary surgery and other errors in hospitals. But that's not all. But wait, there's more. 80,000 people died due to other infections in hospitals, and 106,000 people died due to adverse drug reactions. So that another thing that I took from the movie is that less than 6% of graduating physicians in the USA receive any kind of formal training in nutrition. Holy shit. No wonder they almost never prescribe nutritional remedies to things that, I don't know, are 100% curable with nutrition. It just pains me every time I hear this, honestly. So I love the discussion of vitamins and the vital role they can play in helping fight illness at various quantities. It was fascinating to learn about therapeutic effects of niacin and the history as a cure for depression with the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous. And it's very important to recognize that vitamins enable the body to heal. It's not the vitamins doing the healing. The body is powerful when given the right tools and building blocks. Another thing is that the documentary also covers eye-opening, scary information about drugs, their trials, studies, and approval process. You're not gonna hear drug companies tell you that 2 handfuls of cashews can give you the same therapeutic equivalent of a prescription dose of Prozac. You get what I mean? You're not going to hear that. Food Matter also addresses the fact that cardiovascular disease is a lifestyle disease which can be reversed with, drumroll, please, let's go, diet, food, nutrients, stress reduction, exercise. Again, this is not rocket science. It's simple formula that we can apply. I hope all of my friends are listening to this. The scary aspect of it is that dependence on physicians who are viewed as omniscient, but who lack nutrition education, such as 2 physicians I heard last week on CNN, and MSNBC about how heart disease can't be cured, they don't know. Instead, they are knowledgeable only about drugs and educated by the drug companies themselves. Something is very wrong with that picture. But of course, this isn't generally known to the public because, one, most doctors are not trained to know this information. Two, there is no profit prescribing fruits and veggies. Drug companies have a duty to shareholders, and I get that. But guess what? I have a duty to myself. So take that, drug companies. So it was gripping learning about the amazing success of Gerson therapy with some forms of cancer. Why aren't more oncologists recommending this? Like, why? It just doesn't make any sense. And again, they're excellent in many aspects of medicine, acute illnesses, traumas, surgery, etc. But they're systematically failing at helping us with chronic diseases because they treat symptoms instead of underlying causes. And the bottom line is that despite decades of research of all these new drugs, that the incidence of diseases like heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, cancer, obesity, and diabetes, they're going up. And it's sadly laughable to look at the money spent on the war on cancer and its failure to reduce cancer rates of deaths. I honestly just wish more professionals would talk about how a healthy plant-strong lifestyle is helpful at fighting cancer and preventing it. It's worked for so many people already. And for those of us who don't have that diagnosis of cancer, let's do everything we can to prevent it. So, again, that, gosh, there's just so much that I took from the movie, and definitely you guys get your niacin B3 because it does help with depression. And another thing that I really liked, and which I honestly agreed, was that they said nutrition is the primary prevention strategy for the population. And it should be. And it really should be. And you guys should really, whenever you get the opportunity, should definitely watch this film and learn about megadose nutrition. And just definitely just do your research. Do your research, because we honestly do need to stop being patients and be people. Okay? So I really hope that you guys enjoy this show. I hope that you took something from this and that you're inspired and motivated to go out and do your own research and to just, really start looking into this and taking your health more seriously. Because in order to help the animals, we have to start with ourselves. And I truly believe that. Another thing that I wanted to share before we get into the joke of the day and the word of the day is that on March 2nd, there is going to be an open mic at Lock Restaurant in downtown LA. And I'm a little unaware as to what time it will be, but I will share that on my next podcast on next Wednesday. More detail on the time. But as of now, it will be on March 2nd, sometime in the evening, I'm sure, in the afternoon. If I find out sooner, you can always email me at peopletalknow@hotmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram. That's always cool too. Reach out to me. You can follow March of Silence. That's the group that I do activism work with. And so you can always follow them on Instagram at March of Silence. You can follow the restaurant as well, but I'll go ahead and, put that in the description. And so it's going to be on March 2nd at Lock Restaurant in the Fedora Room in downtown LA. And I'll have more details for you guys next Wednesday on it. But if you're curious and you want to go to the open mic and have fun, definitely come check it out. It will totally be worth it. It's a great experience. It's an all vegan restaurant. The food there is amazing. And if you're definitely trying to start something new with your life, you're trying to dig deeper within yourself and you're trying to go in a different direction, then this is the way to go. And just and surround yourself with like-minded people or people that can just definitely help you get started or answer more questions, and just kind of be around that vibe so you can understand where I'm coming from. So yeah, you guys, my goodness. If you're new to this show and you don't know what the heck is going on or whatever. My name is Vanessa Herrera, and I am the host of People Talk Now. And yeah, I really hope, like I said, that anything I said here today definitely leaves you thinking, just kind of, definitely want to, makes you want to be a better person for yourself first and foremost. And, it really causes you to want to dig deeper, So as always, you guys, I like to have a joke of the day and a word of the day. So let's get started because your girl wants to make you laugh. Okay, so today's joke of the day is it is work jokes. Okay, here we go. Do you believe in life after death? The boss asked one of his employees. Yes, sir, the new recruit replied. Well then, that makes everything just fine, the boss went on. After you left early yesterday to go to your grandmother's funeral, she stopped in to see you. Wow. You see, you guys, this is why you shouldn't lie about that someone in your family passed away or, someone's in the hospital and stuff, because you never know when your family members are not they're not in line with the story that you're telling, and they might show up to your job and then you get fired. Oh my goodness. What a knee slapper. Okay, so moving right along, word of the day. So today's word of the day is probity. It's Probity. And the definition is adherence to the highest principles and ideals, uprightness. Did you know probity and its synonyms, honesty, honor, and integrity, all mean uprightness of character or action with some slight differences in emphasis? Honesty implies a refusal to lie or to deceive in any way. Honor suggests an active or anxious regard for the standards of one's profession, calling, or position. And integrity implies trustworthiness and an incorruptibility to a degree that one is incapable of being false to trust, responsibility, or pledge. Probity, which descends from Latin probis, means honest, implies tried and proven honesty or integrity. So, yes, you got to go out there and you got to be, how can we use this? Let's see. Let's try to use this in a sentence. Okay. So let's see. People talk now, property, and wisdom were valued by the community. Bam. Okay, we use that in a sentence. Okay, you go out there and use your word of the day, probity. Use it however you like. And if you use it in a sentence. You come up with a dope sentence to use it in. Tag me on Instagram and I'll share it to my story. Okay. Also, you guys, as always, if you have anything that you want me to talk about, or you have any suggestions or ideas, or would you like to be a co-host, don't forget to email me at peopletalknow@hotmail.com, and I'd be glad to set you up. We can maybe get you on the list. And I'd love to have you on here. I would love to hear new suggestions on things to talk about. Yeah, I'm open to all ideas. So, You guys, thank you so much for listening. And yeah, you can reach out to me at peopletalknow@hotmail.com. And you can also reach out to me on YouTube at People Talk Now. Reach out. Don't be shy. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on most social platforms. And yeah, you guys, thank you so much for listening. It's been a real fucking slice, you guys. And for the people that have been listening to me week in and week out, I appreciate you guys so much for always like getting back to me. You know who you are. Yeah, and really quick before I take off, I want to give a huge shout out to Rubbery Love and her brother Loudon. They just came out with a new track recently as well, and you can find Rubbery Love on YouTube. Find her on Spotify. Her new track is out, Ain't Shit, and I was listening to it. It's fucking fire. It's some gangster shit. Definitely, it's that kind of stuff that makes you feel like a complete badass at the end of the day. So go check that out too. And yeah, you guys, I am so appreciative of you guys. I know I said that, but thank you guys so much for hearing me out and for giving me this platform to be able to help out my community and the people around me. And yeah, so it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much. Have a kick-ass fucking Wednesday, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.